माजी आपको इंग्लिश समझता है?
She can understand.
आप उनको समझाना बात.
No, she can understand.
This happened in the year 1921. Baba had first come to Meherabad. At that time it was known as Arangaon, because a kilometer away from Meherabad is that village called Arangaon. And in that village there was a family by the name of Patil. The surname Patil indicates the head of the village, what we call as circus. Now this entire family had there, over here.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
This entire family had become very devoted to beloved Baba. And they loved him and all. This individual Patil was a very strong man. You know, early years, nothing much to do. They were always busy with the agricultural work, things like that. And the only pastime that was there was that a strong man of one village would challenge the strong man of another village to a bout of wrestling or something like that. And the village that won, the village that lost, would give them a bag full of wheat or rice or whatever crop that was there at that time of the season. That was how they would pass that time. Now, what I am trying to indicate is that this Patil was a real strong man, you know, wrestling bouts and things like that. And yet at the same time, he loved beloved Baba dearly. There was only one problem with him. He had a very severe backache. And in the year 1921, medical knowledge was very, very meager in that small village. The most that would happen is that if you had a headache, someone might give you an aspirin or a mild painkiller. The pain in the back was very intense, and many a times he couldn't bear it. So, now on one side is this giant of a man, and on another side was our beloved. In 1921 he was lean and thin like a sugarcane stalk, always seclusion, fasting, things like that. But one day beloved Baba's nazar, his glance of love and compassion, fell on Patil. Now let me tell you another thing. In Ahmednagar, in our village, we have two types of milk. Buffalo's milk and the cow's milk. Buffalo's milk is very heavy to digest because it is very rich in fat. So Baba tells Patil, Patil, you know, I can't digest this buffalo milk. Every time I have even a little of it, I get loose motions. I am told that you have a cow in your house. And Patil said, yes, Baba, I do have a cow in the house. Then you do one thing, from tomorrow onwards, get me your cow's milk. And Patil said to Baba, from tomorrow onwards I will definitely get you cow's milk, but the problem is that my animal gives only 1 cup of milk each day. And Baba said, who told you that I wanted a pail full of milk? 1 cup of milk is more than enough for me. But do one thing, whatever quantity of milk the cow gives, bring all that to me. Don't keep anything at home. Yes, Baba. Now next day, this is entirely between the animal and God himself. And suddenly the animal for that particular day gave more than 2.5 liters of milk. So this man came with a pail full of milk. And beloved Baba said to him, this is 1921, the silence had not yet begun. Beloved Baba told Patil, Patil, what is this that you have brought? Baba, you asked for cow's milk, but you told me that your animal gives only 1 cup full of milk. This is not a cup full, this is a pail full of milk. And he says, Baba, I do not know what happened, but today the animal gave this much milk to me. Beloved Baba feigned anger on him. Remember why I'm using the word feigned. Because a perfect master of India, Adi Shankaracharya, he had said about our beloved, whose father he, whose mother, whose friend or foe is he, who is but one. He is the only one. So being only one, with whom could he get ever angry? No one. But yet at the same time, he has come to teach us what is reality. So he feigned anger and he told Patil, the real reason this happened is that you did not want to give me the milk. You should have told me that, Baba, that milk is for my family. And I would have said that would be the end of the matter. But why did you lie to me? And he says, Baba, I did not lie to you. Honest to God, I do not know how come the animal gave so much milk. Beloved Baba got up from his bed and gave him a tight smack on his face. Remember again, on one side is a giant of a man, and on another side is a man lean and thin like a sugarcane stalk. That giant of a man was hurled against the wall, and the wall was not like the smooth one. It was a stone wall, very rough and all. He was hurled against the wall, and something protruding from that wall struck that man exactly where the pain in the back was. And Patil said to himself, from now on, sweep will be impossible, because the pain was absolutely unbearable. But the one, always, quiet, unassuming one, he had performed the surgery. From that day, the pain disappeared. This is how God works in His own creation. ये मेहरबान नहीं आ रहा है. On one occasion, beloved Baba was in Guru Prasad in Pune. Now, Guru Prasad happens to be a palatial building belonging to Maharani Shanta Devi of Baroda. During the British period, the Indian subcontinent was divided into small states, and Baroda was one of the very rich states. And Shanta Devi, a lover and disciple of our beloved, had offered the palace for Baba's use during his stay in Pune. Jai Baba, Jai Baba. It's a very beautiful palace. There are pictures of that palace too. And from the main gate to the palace, it is a distance of about more than 80 feet or so. One afternoon about 2:30, there was not much of a crowd. No darshan program was going on. Beloved Baba and his sister Manija, Baba was sitting on the veranda and sister was standing by. Now in the garden there were a couple of statues, and one statue was that of a female form holding a tray, and in that tray there used to be water for the birds, the chipmunks and all the Baba's minor creations, loving creations. Both of them were sitting there, Baba was sitting quietly and Mani was standing next to her brother. And Sunday Baba told Mani, rather asked Mani, Mani, is there water in that tray? And Mani, presuming that water is always there, Said, yes, Baba, water is there. Baba nodded his head. After about half an hour or so, Baba said to Mani, Mani, is there water in that tray? And Mani, presuming that water is always there, said, yes, Baba, water is there. After another half an hour or so, Baba asked Mani, Mani, is there water in that tray? And now Mani became a bit nervous. She felt there is something wrong someplace. She went over and checked, and there was not a drop of water in that tray. She instructed the gardener to fill up the tray for the birds and all, and then she came back. Beloved Baba, with a smile and a twinkle in his eyes, says to Mani, Mani, very boldly you declare to the world that your brother is God in human form, and yet without the least bit of hesitation you blush before God? Do you think I didn't know that there was no water in that tray? I'm asking you 3 times, and yet you are telling me all the time, yes, there is water in the tray. And this is how God acts and reacts in His creation. Jai Baba. Baba had a very beautiful sense of humor. I was a merchant marine, navigator for nearly 30 years, and began my career in the year 1950. And 54, Baba was in Satara, and he called me there and told me that I should stay with him for as long as he wanted me to stay with him. So at that time, in 1954, there was not much of a crowd. Only beloved Baba's Mandali was there, and we all were sitting there. Normally I would always sit with my head down, because I was a bit afraid to look at my beloved. Because in my heart of heart I knew that I am in the presence of one man who knows thoroughly well what bloody shit I am, and I was afraid of that. But now I realize my mistake. He has never exposed my weakness to anyone else. He has never done anything like that. He puts a cover on all my weaknesses, on the weaknesses of every lover of his. He puts a cover on it, and he gives us a loving embrace, never exposing anyone's weakness to others. And the poet has said that one act of love and compassion that you showered on me, that one act of love with which you covered my weaknesses and my sins, that is more than enough to make me your slave for the entire lifetime. And this is God. So beloved Baba was in a humorous mood that day. It was morning time, about 10:30, same like now. And we are all sitting there. And beloved Baba suddenly snapped his fingers. I looked at him and Baba said, Sam, do you know me? I didn't know that he was pulling my legs. So I said, of course, Baba, I know you. And Baba turns to the Mandali and says, see, you have spent 30 and 40 years at my feet, and yet you do not know me. And Sam has come 2 days before from Pune, and he knows me thoroughly well. I said, not in that sense. Animals have the capacity to know Him because they are loving, their heart is pure and clean. It is the animals who have taught me what true love is. And because of that, for the last 3.5 years and more, I became a vegetarian. I could not eat them, those who have taught me true love. On one occasion, beloved Baba attended a circus in a place called Chas. Now Chas is a small village which is about 39-40 kilometers from Ahmednagar. If you go by car, you pass through that village. That village is still there, but now it is thoroughly developed. And the circus was, Meherwan has come, you take her. Huh?
You have to keep going today. Keep going.
Keep going, okay. Beloved Baba tells his Mandali at Meherazad, I'm very tired with my universal work. I hear there is a circus running at Charles. Come on, let's go and visit that circus. So they all left. And in those early years, there was not much traffic. They left by car and they reached that place, Charles, just about the time when the show was to begin. Now, the owner of the circus, in order to perform there in that village, he had to please the village head. And how could that be done? By tickling his ego. And the method was that the elephant was taught that one particular man sitting on that particular chair, when the show begins, you will offer the garland to him. And the elephant was made to do that again and again. And the elephant is a highly intelligent being. Compared to humans, they are far, far above. So, the elephant had learned it. That evening, beloved Baba with the Mandali came and they occupied the front row. The drums beat. It was a small circus, nothing like Barman and Bailey, nothing like that. A few horses. The elephant came into the ring, and though the elephant was taught where he should go, he did not go there. He went straight to the chair where our beloved was sitting, offered the garland to him, saluted him. Baba stood up and caressed that elephant with great love and care. Offered him all his love. God offered his love to that divine elephant. And after everything was over, and the elephant went back to the ring, here he told the Mandali, I am tired with my universal work. There he says, my work is over. Let us go. Beloved Baba had not come to see the circus. He comes only to complete his work. And that is why the end statement of his was, my work has been completed 100% and 100% to my satisfaction. In his advent as Lord Krishna, the identical words were used. My work is over, now I must go. And that is my God, the only one whom we can love and worship. And why do we love and worship him? A poet has described it very beautifully. Your beauty lies in your simplicity. Your simplicity is your true beauty. In the garden of my poetic fancies, thou art that rose of matchless beauty. And this is God. This is God. One more thing and then my brother will take over. When two youngsters are in love with each other, they like to hear the words, I love you, I love you. They know that they love each other. They know that eventually they might even get married and have a family and all. But they love to hear those words, I love you, I love you. Similarly, my beloved loves to hear our words of praise, our words of complete offering at his lotus feet. And this is one of the most beautiful praises that I have ever come across in my life. It is known as the salutation, salam. My salutations to him who has come to help the helpless humanity. We are the helpless humanity. We cannot traverse even 1 millimeter of the path without his help. My salutations to him who has come to help the helpless humanity. My salutations to him who, though born an emperor of emperors, yet lived the life of a true renunciate, a true fakir. My salutations to him who took all the abuses of the world and in return gave blessings only. Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. My salutations to him who offered the cup of immortality even to those who considered themselves his enemies. My salutations to him, in whose house there was no trace of any gold nor of any silver. My salutations to him, for whom the Mother Earth was his bedding roll and a brick was his pillow. My millionfold salutations at the lotus feet of such a one. And this is God, the only true beautiful definition of the word God. You must have all heard of Swami Vivekananda. I love him with great love and with all my heart. And Swami Vivekananda would always end his discourse with these words, which I try to repeat in my own humble way. Swami Vivekananda would end all his discourses with these words. If any words of wisdom have come off his lips today, if any words of wisdom have come off his lips today, they all belong to my Master. Only the mistakes are mine. Only the mistakes are mine. Jai Baba. Next time मेरे नजदीक में मत बैठना.
So, Sam just told you about Baba visiting a circus in a small village. So that reminds me of a day when Baba visited a circus in Ahmednagar. Baba had called us for some meeting here at Meherazad, and we had no idea what it was for. So there was Meherji who had some work with Baba, and Baba said that he should come and he should bring me and my cousin Dadi, who was Sam's brother, elder brother, who was Sam's elder brother, to accompany him and come and bring us to Meherazad. So we came as per Baba's orders, and Baba had ordered us that we should be here at a particular time. So we were a little ahead of time, so we had our little lunch on the approach road under a tree, and then came to Meherazad. When we came here, Baba met us all, and it was a hot afternoon, I remember, and somehow I must have got a little dehydrated. So by the time we reached Meherazad, I was feeling quite nauseous, and it was a very strange feeling that I had. So anyway, Baba met us, and then he was talking, and I couldn't even concentrate on Baba. There was a constant feeling of nausea and as if I would throw out. Then it seems somebody had brought some sweets for Baba earlier. So after a little time, Baba picked up the sweet box and he asked all the Mandali to come and take the prasad from him. So I all approached, and Baba was putting two big sweets which are known as gulab jamun. They are made from milk and sugar, and they drip in sugar solution. The very sight of it made me throw up all the more, as it were. And I was wondering, how will I ever be able to eat that? And they were quite big ones, and dripping with sugar syrup. Anyway, I took them, and we all went outside. And Baba says, all must eat that. So I went out, and of course I just tried to down it, gulped it down, and tried to keep my utmost not to throw them out again. That's the last thing I would think about when you feel nausea, to eat such things. But that's what I did. After I ate the second one, I don't know, but somehow I began to feel quite well. And gradually the nausea subsided, and as if there was nothing wrong. I don't know what happened. This was the experience I had. And then Baba called us back. Baba was sitting here. Baba said, have you all had prasad? Yes, Baba. Then we talked a little. Baba says now he would be retiring inside. And Baba said that today I have asked my lovers in Ahmednagar to purchase tickets for us. And this evening we have to go and see the circus. There is a circus here, and we all are going there, and you all should also be here. And they said that you have to stay overnight here. That was a surprise to us, and a happy surprise. So that evening Baba came back, and off we went in cars. Baba with the women drove in one car, and we drove in the other, and all of us went to the town to see this little circus. It was a small show, not a very big thing, not those big modern circuses. It was a small tent there which could accommodate about a couple of thousand people at the most.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, but that was all well, nice tent, yeah. So we went there, and they had got tickets for the front rows. Baba was in one section with the women, and we were a little distance away, sitting. The Mandali were all men Mandali on the other, a little distance away. And the circus began, and they were performing all sorts of circus acts, and there was many acts were being performed. And one particular act that I still remember was of a Chinaman. He came strutting onto the stage, and there was a low wooden platform that was brought and kept there on the stage, about this height. And he came along with a little ladder, a bamboo ladder, about 8 feet tall ladder. And he came and he bowed down to us with his ladder in one hand. Then he turned round, he climbed the platform, he put the ladder up straight, vertical like that, and he then bowed to us again, turned back, and started to climb the ladder without any support. So he began to climb. Now, while he was climbing the rungs, he wasn't just going one step along. He was going through the ladder's steps, snaking his way up from the different rungs, So he was going like this and this and this, without support to the ladder, and just crawling up there, and everybody holding their breath. Any little mistake and he would come crashing down. And he was supporting the ladder all the while. Imagine his concentration to do that. Then he went up there, he reached the top, he stood there on the top rung and bowed to us all. So we clapped. Now the most difficult part was to come down. So coming down, he started to go down with his head first. So he balanced himself on the ladder, reversed himself, and was standing with his hands down and balancing the ladder. And he came down the rungs. The way he snaked up, he snaked down with his head down. And all of us were watching with amazement how he did it. And he came down, he landed on the platform, bowed graciously to us with his ladder, and off he went from the stage, and the whole audience was in raptures. Yeah. So then many other acts were done. Towards the end, what happened was that the owner of the circus had this elephant. So the elephant had performed a lot of tricks before that. And then as a final act, the elephant came in, and the whole audience was watching, and it circled round the whole tent, came to where Baba was, and he had a garland in his trunk. So he held the garden right above, then graciously bowed before Baba and garlanded it. Just on his own. Nobody, I don't know how he knew about it. Baba had kept his identity very secret so that nobody would disturb him. And when this happened, they all saw there, and there was a big cry of Avatar Mein Baba Ki Jai. Baba was very disturbed about this. In any case, as soon as the elephant left, Baba got up and off we went, because there were a few more acts. Baba says, let's go now. So before anybody could realize, Baba had slipped away, and we all followed suit. We came here. The next day, Baba came here in the morning, and he was sitting here, and he asked all of us whether we enjoyed the circus. We said, yes, Baba, it was very, very nice. And so Baba then said that I have learned something new in this Advent. So we just all looked up at him. Says that, you remember the Chinese performer? From him I have learned something new in this incarnation. One step at a time. laughed just as you all did. Baba's humor. One step at a time. I don't know what he meant by that, but for him to say that. It was a really memorable event. And yes, Baba was so human. Although he was God, he was more human than God, as if we might say. Yeah. He was so much on our level that very often we would forget that he was God. And he would have to remind us, remember, I am God. Don't forget. Yeah. So, as Sam just told us, Baba's simplicity was his beauty, and his beauty was his simplicity. So, his beauty lay in the simplicity of his behavior, the way he came down to every level of consciousness. Yeah. So with the humans, he was a perfect human being. With the saints, he was the saints of all saints. And of course, he was the highest of the high, as Baba said, and I am lowest of the low also. I am on all levels simultaneously and individually. And we could see in his life how true that was. A perfect human being. As they say in the Indian dialect, they say Purushottam. Masood?
The epitome of
Yeah.
manhood.
Yeah.
Purushottam is the
Purushottam.
epitome of manhood. And he was Param Purushottam.
Param
Beyond
Purush. Yeah. The fair flower of humanity. Yeah. So another example of that was Baba, as you know, had 2 severe car accidents. In the second car accident, Baba was severely injured, and thereafter he couldn't move about freely, and his physical movements were severely restricted. So Baba was always fond of outdoor activities. He was so active in his life, visiting all parts of the world, contacting mass, contacting saints, contacting different people from all over the world. No other advent. It was so active as Baba was here. And after the accident, of course, all these physical activities had to be severely restricted. So, and Baba was fond of sports. He was a perfect sportsman, and whatever sports he indulged in, he really excelled in them. And he was especially fond of cricket. I don't know if you all know the game, but it's something like American baseball, but with a different bat and ball. And Baba was very good at that. And he always liked to watch cricket matches also. So he would be here sitting on his chair, and Eraj would feel that Baba needs to have some recreation. So he suggested to Baba, Baba, can we not have indoor sports, and it would help you to pass your time here. when everything was over, the correspondence and all that. So Baba says, that's a fine idea. So he wrote to me and he told me to send indoor games for Baba. So I had several things like draft board, and drafts is a game, checkers, yeah. Then I sent a carom board. I don't know if you all know the game of carom. Yeah. And a ping pong table was arranged here.
Wow.
Yeah. So Baba would sit on one end of the table with a high stool, and on the other side it would be Francis. Francis was then staying here. Baba had asked him to come and stay here. So for the last 10 years of Baba's ministry, Francis was one of the Mandali here. So he was really good at table tennis, and Baba would make him play from the other end. And though Francis would hit shots, Baba would return them with such grace, just sitting on the stool and making him run from one corner to the other with deft shots and sitting all the while. Yeah. So by the end of a few minutes, Francis would be exhausted. So he was so good at all that. Yeah. So one day I was here and I was watching all this, and then one morning he said, let's play carom. So just where you are there, a little table was brought and the carom board was there and Baba sat there. And then he looked at me and said, are you good at this? So I said, yes, Baba. I play very good carom because I used to practice a lot. The Baba says, then you be my partner. So I sat opposite him, and there were two others sitting on the other side here. 4 people can play a game, or 2 people. So, or even, I don't know, that's how it is played. And I don't know if you know the game, but it's a board with 4 holes in 4 corners. And you had, I think, 10 pieces of black and 10 of white, and 1 piece red in color called the queen. Yeah. So that is all arranged in the center of the board, and we had a striker, and there were lines on the side of the board, and we had to place the striker on the lines and then aim at that in the center, and the aim was to send all the pieces that were your color. If you had white, then you had to get all your 10 pieces of white along with the queen into various pockets. So that's how the game is played. And we had an ivory striker would be there, a big thing, and there were wooden pieces round, and they would all be arranged on the board, and we had to strike. So Baba asked me to begin the game, and all those pieces were arranged, and I gave a nice opening thing and got several pieces in, and Baba was very happy. He really played good, and I felt quite proud about it. Then I missed something and the turn went to the next person. He got a few pieces in, and then it came to Baba. And then Baba aimed and he hit and nothing happened. No piece went in. So the turn came back to another person and then back to me. and I would get certain pieces in, and then it went to Baba, and Baba would again miss. Each time it came to him, he kept missing. And I was wondering what is wrong? So the next time when it came to Baba's turn, and he was aiming, and certain shots are called home shots, when the pieces are just close to your line and you have to push it in. So he would even miss that and push the striker into the pocket. And we had to be penalized by bringing out one of our pieces. So he was again aiming at one, and I thought that he is going to miss it again. So I get up and go around them and said, Baba, not like that. Hold this like this and do it this way. And he looks up and he says, oh, but I know. And I suddenly realized that I am instructing the one who knows everything. So that's how human. Then I came back sheepishly and just sat down, and he aimed perfectly and got all the shots well in, just to show me that he knew everything.
There is somebody who wants to perform. There are two people who have come ready to perform today. Are they here?
Huh?
Murshida was saying that two people have come from the group ready to perform. If they would like to come in.
Yeah, sure.
To sing.
I've ended my performance.
Yeah. Are there enough chairs?
Well, those they let Murshida from this now.
Yeah.
We can sit down. Somebody's performing.
You can come in this way. Person in the wheelchair? No, the woman in blue who's standing. She can sit down here.
Baba was a mysterious kid. He was the mysterious chicken who played this game of creation. He was the mysterious chicken who started this game of all of us. He's known as the mysterious chicken. Kamu best Sam. जरा और बस ये लोग को परफॉर्म करें. मेरा अकेडमी मेरा ये लोग परफॉर्म करें.
Okay, Meherwan would like me to flip this on. So there's only one. Are you okay? You here?
And there's room in the back to come around. Yes, right along. We'll come straight to
Last night I saw a vision of a vast and fiery sea. Across this glowing ocean you came riding at great speed. Upon a snow-white stallion, bow of thunder in your hand, loosing shafts of light that burst in fire upon the land, in fire upon the land. This morning came a message, you are traveling again. Surrounded by a company of light you call your friends. At night your campfires can be seen in the hills along the way. The hearts you have set burning and are teaching how to pray. In great joy how they pray. Meher, you are the bearer of fires. Meher, the master of seas. Each time I give, I am learning to live in your fire that will set me free. In joy will set me free. And you have sent a shaft of light that burst through my heart's door, melting all that holds me here till there is nothing more. Oh, the past is but for burning that will raise me ever higher. The privilege of a life that's lived within your holy fire, your pure and holy fire. Meher, you are the bearer of fires. Meher, the master of seas. Each time I give, I am learning to live in your fire that will set me free. In joy will set me free. Then I saw 7 rivers running to your sea, and on your mighty horse within each one you seemed to be. And the waters rose and overflowed, a flood across the earth. And as the rivers joined as one, I felt your love take birth. In joy your love takes birth. Meher, you are the maker of space. Meher, the melter of forms. Each time I honor your love I die, and in joy I am reborn. In joy I am reborn. So let the drum beat lightly, and let the flutes play free, to celebrate the Lord of Fire, who has let loose the sea, as a flame across a frozen earth, and all that dwells within. Melting hearts, releasing joy from winter into spring. Meher, you are the maker of space. Meher, the melter of forms. Each time I honor your love I die, and in joy I am reborn. Meher, you are the bearer of fires. Meher, the master of seas. Each time I give, I am learning to live in your fire that will set me free. Your fire will set me free. Your joy will set me free. Your joy will set me free.
There are no words that could ever tell the way I feel for you. There is no tune that could ever express the beauty that is you. And yet I find that I must sing to keep from bursting apart. The beauty of your holy name is the music filling my heart, the flame burning in my heart. Beloved, your name ignites the flame. you. And yet I find that I must sing to keep from bursting apart. The beauty of your holy name is the music filling my heart, the flame burning in my heart. Beloved, your name ignites the flame of love that I am feeling, to make of me an instrument for your very being.
Meherwan, just quickly tell them that little story about Baba and Guru Prasad when there was a huge crowd and it was time for everyone to go and Baba says, who will? Yeah.
Why don't you tell it?
I wasn't there, but from what I've been told by Meherwan and Naraj and all, there was a huge crowd of people at Guru Prasad, and of course, with so many people, it would take a while for people to leave, and nobody wanted to leave Baba's presence. So Baba, in his unique way, suddenly gestures, and Naraj is interpreting. He says, I want to know now, who of you will obey me? And naturally everybody's hands raised, who will obey you, Baba? And Baba says, wonderful. Then those who obey me, I want to see you clear this hall.
Avatar,